Aussie yen, this is where things get interesting. So I do feel like all the yen pairs are switching directions. So, and I might be a bit early on this, but follow along and I'll show you why I think the way I do. So before, I mean, this is still bullish. It's above this moving average, yes, but I do think the Aussie currency specifically is weakening, and I do think it's going to break below this area. And then as well as all the other yen pairs, is CAD yen, even dollar yen. The dollar is getting more bullish, like the dollar, if you look at the dollar index, the dollar is getting more bullish. So, but I do think the yen itself is going to get stronger, because as we get into uncertain economic times, the yen becomes a safe haven currency, so people move their money into it, which would value the yen higher than all of these other currencies. So that is going to play an inverse effect on Aussie yen here. I mean, it's going to cause Aussie yen to go down, and you can see that the bear structure is already set in. We got lower highs, lower lows all the way throughout here. Like after this segment here in early June, you know, basically all of June, it's been all the way down, and it did find support here, but it's tested it many times, and the more times price tests an area, the more likely it is to break through it, so to not respect it. So you can see every time it came down, pushed up, didn't go higher, came back down, came up to here, and has not broken this area now. So we are potentially looking for a lower low in this currency. So breaking this down, we're going to figure out, we'll delete this zone, we'll clean this up. I already reset this last night when I was looking at it. So this is now our new monthly range, because I don't consider it bullish, I consider it going bearish. Our monthly high for the month is 96 level, and our monthly low is potentially 91. So this is what I have marked out, and this is what I'm thinking is possible for the end of the month. So, and I know this seems crazy, it's going to have to break these two major zones, but I think it can do it with a bunch of momentum. And if this Aussie dollar gets crushed, and then the yen gains some strength as well simultaneously, like it's going to push us down. You can see it's really rejected this area. I mean, it's had all month to go higher, and in the last 3 weeks it hasn't. So I mean, this was August 1st. This is literally how the month opened. It opened with a big bearish candle and has not went higher. So if you think of it from that aspect, you know, there's a chance that this goes lower, and I think it's going to. So this is my entry here. I'm looking at price breaking this little area here. You can see there's a ton of wicks. This is the 4-hour time frame. Price is below the 4-hour moving average. It's going to be below the 1 hour as well once it breaks this area. So it's below all the moving averages. It's creating lower lows and lower highs. You got huge wicks in this area. You know, it has, if you look at this little segment here, came down in this area, pushed up. You have a lower high, or sorry, you have a higher low here and then a higher high. So like this little segment here is bullish, but then it breaks down and doesn't break higher than this one. So you're like, okay, I think, you know, there's a good chance that this pushes down more. So I'm looking for it to break this area, and if we drop it down to 1 hour time frame, you can see clearly this is the area of respect. It's about 93.50, so I'll put that in here, and then this is what we're looking for price to break and retest, and then I think we are good to go after that. And the thing is with these yen pairs, especially something that's so bullish, I mean, all these yen pairs are so bullish, right, respectively, they, you know, as soon as price starts breaking these lows, like liquidity wise, there's a lot of orders right here. So there's a lot of people banking on Aussie yen getting bought up right here, right? You can see it's rejected many times, but once price blows through this area, if it does blow through this area, it's going to trigger a lot of stops, and what's going to happen is price will come down here slowly, and then once it hits this area and it hits past these wicks where people have stops, and where most people would buy this, if it blows through this, they can't buy, and like that's where the sellers also come in too. So all of a sudden it goes into this area real slow and then fast. So might see that happening. I know it's kind of a, you know, a 300 pip, well, I guess it's about 250 pips to the monthly low here at 91, but I do think it's possible. If we look at a weekly, there's technically only 4 days left in the month, 4 trading days, but 5 days left in the week, and this does about 250 pips in a week. So I think, and you can actually see, I just noticed this here, look at this weekly support here. So, but this candle, last week's candle that closed, is you know, it came into this area and rejected. So it's kind of, this is telling us everything we need to know. and could still be wrong. Don't, definitely can always be wrong, but I just got a feeling this is gonna break. And looking at all the other Aussie pairs, the Aussie currency is weakening. The yen's gonna get stronger because it's a safe haven currency. And even though like all these other interest rate wise, the Aussie, the Canadian dollar, the US dollar, the Swiss dollar, their interest rates are much, much higher because the yen has negative interest rates. So, but in times of uncertainty, you're going to want that yen dollar. It just works as a safe haven. So I do think this is going to break 93.5, and I think it's going to go down all the way down to 91. So I'll keep you guys posted and on my entries and stuff. If you're interested, join my WhatsApp group. I always update that group first, and I update it with all my personal trades and entries, exits, everything I'm thinking. So if I'm not on YouTube, but I'm always in that WhatsApp group. So even when I'm on vacation, which is coming up soon too. So keep that in mind. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you what your take on this is. Do you think I'm crazy for thinking Aussie yen's going bearish, or what do you think? I want to hear from you guys. So that's my take on Aussie yen. I'll see you in the next one.